Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me for my Thursday live streaming. Just getting myself all ready to do a 48 by 24 inch painting here. So I hope you enjoy. This one will take me probably just under an hour, if not even a little bit sooner than that. So last minute, I switched out what I was going to do. This is how my life goes. I change my mind so often that I have to keep up with myself. So I hope you enjoy watching. If you can or cannot hear me, maybe let me know. I always make sure that my audio is working well. They say that even if your video quality isn't up to par, that's okay. The thing that you always want to have the best quality is, if you're going to compensate, is the sound. So I know both is ideal, but I'll be live streaming here from the studio. I have been live streaming here and the Wi-Fi can be a little sketchy. So I hope you enjoy watching. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Thank you, MJ. You can hear me? Great. So I've got a little microphone here that's making me a little bit extra, better to hear. So enjoy watching this piece. I'm going to work on a sunflower painting in the 48 by 24 inch size. So the first step, as always, if you've never seen me do this before, or if you have, you know that I start my canvas with one color to start. This first layer is number one, to warm up my arm and my brain. And also, I like to cover my whole canvas. This is kind of like the primer color. Like you're painting a wall, you always want to have your primer color down first. It gives you better coverage of your overall surface when you've got that primer color down. I often start off with yellow. Sometimes they're pink, purple, all colors, but I like to do one solid color. I have done pieces where I'll do maybe the top third will be one color and the bottom third will be another. But this gives it the overall essence of the painting. A nice underglow. You will see pockets of this color in the final painting. This is not a rule that you have to follow when painting. You can just attack the canvas with the image you want to paint. This is just my process. So I've got a nice wide brush, a 2-inch, to give me lots of coverage with one stroke. Just like a workout, this is the warm-up. The warm-up stage. Today, the reason I'm painting this size is actually, I just sold a piece off my own wall this size, and so I've got this blank spot waiting for something for my own space. I mean, this will be for sale. Everything I paint is for sale. But my whole house / studio space is covered. Every single wall surface has a painting of mine because I use it as my gallery space where people come and view my work. So now that I've got this one space that needs a piece, this is the perfect size. And I keep selling my sunflowers, and my blossoms. That's kind of my hot ticketed items at the moment. So I'm going to create this sunflower piece to add to my collection. This will be under the wildflowers section of my website. If you've never checked it out, it's giselledenis.com. All of these sizes and prices are listed, so there's no guessing. That top edge will be done too, but for the video's sake, I'll just sort of lightly go over it here. Off camera, I will do the top edge and the bottom edge. I like to continue the painting all the way around the surface, including the edges. Some artists do one solid color for the edges. That's a way to do it too. Some artists actually take tape, like electrical tape, and they'll tape the edges to make them solid black. My preference is to continue the painting all the way around. There we go. So we've got a nice, even, solid primary yellow to leave a nice base coat for the painting. I think I had a question here. I just want to check. So I've got my 2 streamings. I got Facebook and Instagram, so I want to make sure I touch base with everyone here. I had a question back. I got to rewind. Oh, maybe it disappeared. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you. I'm glad you love my work. It's fun to make it for you and watch. Hi, Carly. Hi, Shannon. MJ. Thanks for joining my live stream today. So the next step is the sky. So as you know, I start from furthest away to what's close up. I'm all disheveled here. I can see my video. Oh boy. So that's the one thing about seeing yourself on camera. It's like you see all the things that you want to change, but that's okay. The most important thing right now is painting, not what we look like. So I have a little bit of white mixed in here, but I'm going to add a bit more. We've got a beautiful day outside here in Edmonton. We seem to have 1 or 2 days of really nice, sunny, warm, and then 2 or 3 days of rain and cold. So I won't be on too long today because we have plans to go outside, my son and I, get some things done. I've got some studio visitors today also. If you are in the Edmonton area and you have heard of my studio open houses, I've decided to cancel the official open house this year, but I am doing sort of personal tours by appointment. So up to 12 people, or was it 15? I can't remember. Up to 12 people. You can book by appointment to come to the studio and have a tour and see what's for sale and see my workspace. So if you'd like to come and do that, just send me an email, art@giselledenis.com, or a message on here, and we can make arrangements for you to come to the studio. So it's going to make it busy for me this summer because I'm going to, rather than have the one big shebang all at once, I'm going to have people in and out constantly, but that's okay. That's just the way it is this year. So now, thinking about balance and where I want things to be. I just kind of craft it in my mind, and then I go for it. So I think I'm going to have flowers kind of coming up like this. So I'm going to kind of sort of block in where I want my sky to go. That sound you hear is the drumming of the canvas. So that first layer is done with a brush. The next layer here is done with my knife. This first layer is always exhausting. My arm gets tired, so all my yoga exercises have helped strengthen this position I need to be in. But yeah, once this is done, it's like, whoof, feel the burn. Feel the burn. Hi guys, Thanks for joining me. It's always nice to see repeat viewers. What I find funny about social media is the names people give themselves online, and then you see them in person and they said, I watched you live streaming. I'm like, oh, you did? You were watching? Because their name is not their name on their Instagram or Facebook name is not their name in life. So it's hard to keep track of who's who. So that's the kind of fun part. You can be incognito on your social media. One of the things I was thinking about before I went live today is doing things that make you feel alive. So are you doing things that make you feel alive? That's something, I don't know why it came up, but you kind of pay attention to those little nudgings of your spirit of what you feel like is being said to you or spoken to you in the air. And we hear a lot these days, you know, be kind to yourself and give yourself breaks, and those are all good things. But sometimes there is a time. It's like that verse that says there's a time to rest, and there's a time to run, and there's a time for, I don't know, there's a season for everything. And so I'm not sure what you're feeling today, but if you need a little bit of a kick in the butt to do something that makes you feel alive, I say there is also a time to rest and there's a time to push yourself. And when you push yourself, it's pretty cool to see the things you can accomplish. My last post, if you're online, well, you are, well, you'll see the people were asking me frequently, how many paintings do you make a year? And I didn't know the answer to that question. So I started looking back in my archives. I do photograph everything I make, so I keep track of every single painting I do. And I started looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I paint a lot of paintings. I paint over 400, sometimes close to 500 paintings each year. And so on average, like 450 paintings a year. And I didn't even know I was doing that. It was just me doing the thing and pushing myself. And truthfully, like people ask me a lot, do you feel like painting every time? You must feel like painting all the time. And I'm like, no, I don't feel like painting all the time. I push myself sometimes too hard, often too hard. But when you do push yourself, you realize you can accomplish much more than you think you can. Like this is something I talk to my son a lot about these days. And like I was saying, there's time to rest and there's a time to push and there's a time to force yourself to, like, sometimes it feels like you're like walking through deep snow or really thick mud and you're not really going anywhere, but then you look back and you see how far you came. So I think in the last 5 years, I've painted almost 2,200 paintings. So it's like, holy, it's a lot of paintings. So yeah, I encourage you today, if you need a kick in the butt, to push yourself. If that word is not for you, that's cool. But there's a time to push ourselves. I've got a question from Jerry. Is the whole painting done wet on wet, or are you letting the initial base coat dry first? I paint wet on wet, Jerry, simply because I like I like the wet paint, the way it moves into the next layer. So, and because I paint quickly and want to get a painting done in one session, that's always the goal, is to make the painting from start to finish in one session. So if it takes me 45 minutes or if it takes me 8 hours, I like to I can possibly make this painting in one session. And I started doing that actually when my son was really little and he was in the, really young baby stage of the naps and all of that. And they say nap when your baby naps. And I tended to go and paint when my baby was napping. And so I was like, okay, I have 2 hours in the studio to make one painting. And that kind of forced me to, like, I put these challenges out for myself. Okay, I got 2 hours. I got an hour and a half. I have 45 minutes to see if I could make a painting in a short period of time. So, and then I was able to sort of fast forward that into these live painting experiences, and it's been pretty wonderful. Yes, there is a time to push and get swift kick in the butt with a frozen boot. I like it, Jerry. Yes. So if that word is for you today, do something that makes you feel alive, whether you feel like it or not. And I also challenge you to, if you feel like so tired and you want to take a nap, and you just don't want to do anything, sure, go and take the nap and rest. But I challenge you also to do the opposite sometimes. When we do the opposite of what we feel, sometimes our bodies they trick us, you know, like they say, listen to your body. And yeah, totally. But there's some times where you go, you know what, body, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do right now. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to go do whatever. So like the other day, I felt like, oh my gosh, I just felt like tired and didn't want to do anything. And so I sat down for a second, and then I felt this energy rise up within me and was like, no, I think I'm going to go make a couple paintings that were hanging over my head that I wanted to do. And I'm really happy with the outcome. So even out of tired, like when you push through that wall of whatever it is that's blocking and stopping you, no matter what it is or looks like, you can accomplish something great. So I'm not saying don't rest when your body's saying to rest, but there's a time to push also. Okay, enough talking for a minute. Let me stick to pushing up the sky. Got lots to say, but you know, it's learning to, you know, when you got something to say, say it. Maybe it'll help somebody. Clean off my knife a little bit. Come back in here with some sort of cloud color. And I know it looks like I'm covering up all the yellow, and I kind of am in some spots, but I am pulling that color into the next layer because yellow and blue make green. So it's pulling in a bit of green into my sky just naturally. This process of wet on wet. Now I want a little bit bluer sections on the side, so I'm just going to add some of this. You can get loud drumming. All the edges. So I like to do the sides when I'm here, just because it can be tricky to remix the paint after you've done the whole painting, and then you got to go back and kind of match the color on the edges. That could be a bit tricky. So try and do the edges as well while I'm on this live stream. Top and bottom matter also, but those are edges you don't really see, even though I do paint them. All right, now just a bit more of this sort of cloud suggested impression. A bit more over here. My son's in the house making faces at me over here. He's trying to make me laugh. You want to come say hi to everybody? No? You just want to distract me? Marie says, I envy your energy, your creative energy. I have such a hard time creating because of fibro chronic fatigue. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't suffer from something like that. I have my own health things, but I know what it's like to feel very, very tired and not feeling the energy to do things. And yeah, I feel for you, sister. I hope that it gets better and you're able to push through and find your healing journey. Andrea asks, you always add a gel to the acrylic to get more of a color. Not all my colors, Andrea. Some of the colors I do, it depends on what color it is. And I found that as I've been painting, the more I paint, the more little tips and tricks that I find that I like personally. So I add gel to some of the colors, yes, for sure. And Jerry says, I'm a big fan of painting wet on wet also when doing a landscape. Do it, but stand back and place it on its side. Woohoo! Sometimes you will have another complete painting. I love it. Yeah. We have our processes of figuring things out in the way we have to create. And it's kind of fun to watch other people's processes and see like what might inspire you or give you some ideas. But then it's also good to go back and find your voice in your own creative process and the applications that you like to make and how you like to proceed. And the only way to figure that out is just do it and spend time and hours at it. That's the way to go. Okay, where was I? I was over here. I'm gonna just add a bit more shape to them here. There we go. It was too straight across. Didn't like that. I'm gonna add some interest there. And we'll do a little bit of darker blue here and up there. Just for fun. My son's getting a haircut today. I should show you. If he comes down again, I'll show you. His hair is crazy. It grows super fast, and he normally gets it cut like every 3 weeks, him and my husband. And Quinn said, no, I want to wait. So the last round he didn't go when my husband did. So Quinn, his hair is just ridiculously long and thick. So he's pretty excited now. He's like, it's time. He sweats a lot in his head and it just drips. And so now it'll feel so nice for the summer. I'm excited for him. I'm not getting my hair cut just yet. I'm going to wait a little longer. Longer hair can get away with that. So now the next step is the grasses. Oops, knife. This knife. I have all kinds of knives here that I like to work with. Okay, what am I doing? I'm gonna drink some tea, get my bearings on my next little process here. Marie, most of my paintings are trees. I'm terrible at flowers. Maybe I'll learn something while watching you. Yeah, you know, it's flowers is just something that I have always painted, but that my process and my application and the look of them has changed and evolved as I've moved along in my creative journey. And yeah, I like to say, like a singer would find their voice. You know, you imitate other voices that you hear, but after you sing for quite a number of hours or years or whatever, you start to find your own voice and your own sound. And so I always encourage people to do that with all your creative things that you're doing, and find because the world needs you to be you. The world doesn't need another Ariana, what's her name? Ariana Grande. She's great, but we need all of us to be our individual selves to really contribute fully to our potential of what we have to offer. So yeah, take that. Smoke it for a while. Okay. A little piggy on the fix, okay. Now I just go for it with the grasses. So I know I'm gonna have one that's gonna come up here. So this stem is long. Maybe another one here. Another one here. One of the things that helps me just go for it is this is not the last and one and only painting that I'm going to be doing. This is one of many paintings. And so I just go for it and hope to make a great painting. I don't like to say masterpiece. That's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. It's not a masterpiece. It's just a painting. It's a great painting. It's what I hope to achieve is a great painting. Marie says we should meet if you're ever in Calgary. I don't get out much. Oh, yeah, I'm in Calgary sometimes. It kind of depends on the time of year and the year, that year. And, but if you're ever in Edmonton, yes, happy to have you visit the studio. I've got some friends in Calgary, but we haven't made it out there much. I think maybe only twice last year. I usually have an event or two that I have to be at, and everything's been canceled this year. So my Calgary trips have been cut down. Okay. So I'm just adding some taller grasses that kind of pop up into here. Hello from India. I love that you watch from India. Sona, am I saying it right? Awesome. It's probably middle of the night over there. Thank you for tuning in. It's pretty cool. So I hope you get to spend some time outside today when it's not raining, everybody. I got my window wide open, so it's almost like I'm outside. And yes, I do paint outside, generally when I'm on location at the Fairmont Hotel. When I'm home here at the studio, I've found that it's actually quite difficult. If I don't have to paint outside, I don't. I keep the windows open and I feel the breeze, so it feels like I'm outside, but I still have control of my environment in here with the temperature control. It's the most important thing. And the lighting too. It can get too bright and too hot. And my paints dry up too quick. Because I'm working with acrylics, they dry fast. I don't need them to dry faster. Okay, I just want to move this up a bit. So how many minutes are we into this? 28 minutes. Perfect. Yes, these are acrylics, Marie. Always acrylics. Nothing wrong with oils. I've just found I prefer acrylics. I prefer the open time, meaning I like that they dry at a decent amount of time. Though they dry quickly, and that can be frustrating. The waiting for an oil painting to dry, they say it takes 7 weeks per layer for an oil painting to dry. And I just transport my art way too often to wait for things to dry. So I just don't have the kind of patience for that kind of time. So we stick to acrylics around here. Just about done the edges. There we go. So there, I quite like what I've done there. Now I'm going to add some yellow highlights and grasses kind of coming through. Continue what I've started up here and bring it down. This is all going to get covered up with flowers though, so. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you found that out and you can use acrylics though, Marie. That's good that, I know sometimes chemicals and things, we don't notice how it's affecting us. And I actually generally, when I'm not live on my stream here, I do wear gloves, those little thin, like surgical type gloves. You can buy a box from Costco and it just protects the paint, you know, sitting on my skin for too long. I don't like using them when I'm performing a painting, but when it's in the privacy of the studio, I like to not get it on my skin and leave it there. I do go wash immediately But they say, you know, the chemicals aren't good for your skin. So the things you gotta sacrifice to make art. Okay, so I feel like that's a little bit sharp. So I'm just gonna soften with a few other things to draw your eye away from that one tall guy. And, oh, got to my socks, of course. Now the flowers. What colors shall we do today? We'll do a bit of purple and pink flowers, and then I'm going to do some sunflowers. So we'll do a mixture of wildflowers. That color and that color. So I've got a medium violet here. I've got to keep an eye on the time because I have a studio visitor coming shortly and I don't want to go over time. So this is the thing. I set time limits for myself and I've got to move on to the next thing. I go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Sometimes I'm guilty of not giving myself enough breaks, but I love what I do. So that's a bit of a trick. It's a thing that you got to learn to, okay, just take a break. I painted for years and years and years and years and years and years before I ever sold anything. And I don't wait till I have a customer to buy something, to paint something. I just make it and they will come, I guess, hey? Okay, let's do this light purple. I'm gonna do this. Just like that. Another one down here. And then touch, 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 touch. I like to clean my butt, as you know, you see. I like to clean my knife off right on the canvas. It gives me these abstracted flowers that are just fun touches of color. Okay. This is where the personality of the painting really starts to show up. Okay, I like that. And I'm gonna do one down here. I'm kind of looking at a reference picture. It's a photo just of some wildflowers. And touch, 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 touch. Give it a center. Give it a center. Give it a center. And I do some layering in my centers, so a couple different colors. And some highlight. Okay. Yeah. Give those flowers a bit of my father-in-law's here. He's weed whacking. Can you hear him? Hi, Judy. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you. See if I'm missing any questions. Okay, we're good so far. Here we go. What's next? What is next? Let us do just a bit of this. Get some centers to these babies. And maybe a few float down there. Okay, I need to mix some more orange because I'm going to do sunflower. Get some of those in there. Oh, but first maybe I'll do a deeper pink maybe. How about here? Okay, I need to mix up some more white and some yellow and orange and some deeper red to get ready for my sunflowers. Got a few different pinks and reds going on here. And I'm hoping to be done this within the hour so that my Instagram friends don't have to reboot and join back again. Oh, thanks. Yes, orange is a great choice. Yes, it's good for the sunflowers. What am I doing? Okay, yellow. Get some more yellow in there. Mixing up my gels. What is this? Okay, I get too many lids taken off. I forget which lid belongs to what. There's no paint on it. The white, orange, there's orange. So I like to use Indian yellow. Orange that I like. Get a whole bunch of that on there. I need a palette twice as big. So Masterson, if you decide to make a bigger palette for acrylic painters, please make one. Need a bigger one. I need twice as big to accommodate all the paint that I've got going on here. Keep having to reload, which is fine. Keeps the paint fresh, but man, I go through so much paint. It's craziness. Maybe I'll close this. We don't need to have a, there, close my window. We don't need the sound of a weed whacker in my video. Just a little bit. One more. We're going to get to those sunflowers. If you're curious about the size of this painting, again, it's 48 by 24. A piece like this retails for $19.80 from my collection. Alrighty. And yes, everything is for sale. So tell your friends. Placement now. Where do I want stuff? I would like, yeah, put one right there. So this is how I do this. Okay. Where do I want you? I want you here. Sort of a medium-sized one here. Marie says she painted on handmade. Do you mean you painted on them? Handmade ceiling tiles, 12 by 24. Hey, whatever works, man. That's cool. That surface is pretty cool. I've painted on all kinds of surfaces myself. When I got started, I couldn't afford to buy a lot of canvas at the beginning, so I was painting on wood. I was painting on, oh my goodness, like old cupboard doors that I sort of manufactured and made into canvas. I know, it's crazy. I just, whatever surface I could find, I painted on. Oh, you're welcome, Judy. Yes. If you're curious, you know, how this might look on your wall, I suggest taking some green painter's tape and masking out a square that size on the wall. And then you can send me a photo of that square that you've laid out with the tape. And I can tell you if that size works, if it needs to be bigger or smaller or whatever. So that's one way to sort of test it out. Of course, if you're in the Edmonton area, I can bring over a number of your favorites. And we can see how they look on your wall as well. So if you're comfortable having me in your home, I can certainly do that. Bring over your favorite pieces. So, oh, and Marie says, you use that as your palette. Yes, totally. You can use, I've used ice cream pail lids, box lids. So there's all kinds of things you can use for your palette, definitely. So here we go. Continue on. I got 43 minutes in. Try and be done this painting within the hour so that you can all get on with your day and you don't have to reconnect on the Instagram feed. So clean off brush. So we'll do some more of these sunflowers. I'm going to do a bit of a highlight with some yellow. Let's just let some pop a little bit more. And if you want to rewatch this video, or you know, a friend missed it or anything like that, you can go back on my YouTube channel. Just Google me on YouTube and you can see all my videos there. Shortly after I've done the live stream, they go up. It takes a little bit, it takes a few hours for them to go back, go online onto YouTube, but they're all available there to watch. So that's kind of fun. What am I doing next? What am I doing next? I'm going to do just a bit of a, what's that? Okay, my next sunflower, I want it to go about here. I don't know what these paintings will look like when they're done. I plan it in my mind a little bit, and then I just go for it and hope it looks good. Paint it till I like it. Paint it till it feels completed. A painting's never done. You just have to know when to stop. That's my next little tip for you. It's a bit of a guessing game, but you just keep going till you feel like it's finished. Well, to paint it till you feel like you're done painting it and you're happy with what you see. Up there. Now these beautiful petals come in here. Oops, big glob on the floor. I can use that. No paint goes to waste around here. Back second roll. Nice thing about acrylics or oils is you can keep pushing paint, moving it around, so you kind of like what you've done. Have a look at the mirror image here. Judy asked if I ever painted hydrangeas. Yes, I've painted pretty much all the flowers, Judy. I don't really advertise certain flowers all the time, but yeah, like they kind of all found their way into my paintings. Every species of flower, I think, that I've seen anyways. And sometimes they happen by accident. I don't even know that they're what flowers they are until I look at it and go, oh, that looks a lot like this flower. So yeah, it's kind of fun to see what might pop up, kind of by accident. Sometimes intentional, sometimes by accident. I'm just gonna add a little yellow one here. Maybe another yellow one here. So when I do that, I'm sort of using my hand as sort of like placement of the next flower where I kind of want it. I'd say about there. I'll start with a smile. You see that first mark? And then the next, the red center. Touch, touch, touch. It's nice to have an audience. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in today. Nearly finished. Say hopefully in a 15-minute time frame here, I'll be done this one. I have to reload my orange. I've used a lot. Time to reload orange. Where did you go? Orange, here you go. Carly. The picture is much more clear on our Facebook. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's each week I have a challenge of one platform is better than the other. Could be your internet, could be mine. These are the challenges we face with online streaming. I need a bit more paper towel as well. I'm going to add this little hoop to these flowers, just sort of where the stem joins the flower. Saw that little thing I wanted to add. Okay, where was I? I was over here. I just love these sunflowers. They're just so thick and juicy. As you paint for years, the more you do it, the more hours you spend at it. The new ways you find to paint a certain thing. You may have found you painted a certain way for so long, and then you find a new way. It's so exciting. And okay, got to stand back. Got to get some perspective. Hi, Dave. My cousin, thanks for watching from Windsor. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. We never get to see each other, just online, I guess, hey? Judy, you're welcome. Your lunch break. I love it. Thanks for joining me, Judy. I appreciate it. I love it when people are joining me from their lunch break at work. That's really, really great. Gives you something different to do on your break there. Something different. All right, so let's see. What do I do now here? I think I'm going to do another. Yeah, okay. I'm going to add another pink flower over here. I think I want one just like right here. One more here. Some highlights of white. Find your centers. Thank you, Dave. I'm glad you like it. That's awesome. My pleasure to create for you today. I think I'm going to do maybe, I kind of like what's going on there, so maybe I'll leave that alone. Just deciding if I want to do anything. Yeah, maybe I'll do something down here. Draw your eye downward a little bit too. Just thinking what to do next. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to do this one. Make it nice and full. Another one down here. Oh yeah, that feels good. Felt like it needed something down there. How much time? 56 minutes. Okay, trying to be done real quick. But if not, Instagram friends, thank you for joining me. It kicks off. This is virtually pretty much done. I've got a couple little tiny things to do. Maybe I'm gonna add one more sunflower down here. So I'll do that right now. I'm gonna go like this. This guy right here. Felt like this section of the canvas needed a bit of something. There. So this Instagram, friends, will be on my stories once I'm finished here, so you can check it out there. Facebook, it stays on, and you can also check this video out on YouTube. You can find me there. This is episode 1, season 1, episode 6, sorry. Season 1, episode 6 today. So you'll recognize it in the video there if you want to check it out on my YouTube channel. Do I clear coat my pieces when they're dry? I actually leave them as is. You leave all that texture and clear coating I found was taking away kind of hurting the painting, so I've decided to just leave them like this. And clear coating a painting with this much texture would be very difficult. So they are, to keep the integrity of the painting, I just leave them as they are. Still on Instagram? Good. We're still here. Oh, I got 1 minute left on Instagram. Okay. But thank you, Instagram friends, for joining me. I will be back next Thursday at noon. You can touch base with me then. Come and see me. Come and see this video on my, hi Lady Cox, on my stories. It'll be there, available there. And otherwise, yeah, I'm happy that you were able to join me. And once it kicks off, goodbye, my friends. I'm happy that you're able to watch. Facebook, you can stick around for a little bit longer while I can just finish off this last sunflower down here. So I appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Just saying goodbye to Instagram and letting that share to my story. I'll share that later. Hi, Karen. I'm going to read what you say. I like your masterpieces. It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing artworks again. I'll check in again tomorrow on Facebook. It's getting late in Abu Dhabi. Oh, in Abu Dhabi. Oh, that's so awesome. I believe we met. Yes, I don't know. Remind me if we met when I was in Dubai. But I really appreciate you tuning in. That's really cool. Isn't that cool, everybody? We got people from all over the world tuning in to my videos. So exciting. Tons of texture on this one. So I'm just an hour in right now on Facebook, so I will continue. I'm just about done. But thank you for, even if you have a couple minutes to watch, us artists appreciate the interaction. Well, I do anyways. Not every artist wants to create in front of people, but it's the thing that I enjoy. Do a bit of just little touches. things down here. I'm gonna add some turquoise or teal, whatever you want to call it. I just like this color a lot, so it shows up in lots of my paintings, so why not? Maybe we'll even add one up here. This little spot. Maybe over here and over here. So a little thing I want to fix that I don't like. Great. Yep. Yeah, this looks a little too perfect, so I'm just gonna mess it up a little bit. I know you're like, no, don't mess it up. No, it's just like I'm gonna make it a little more messy and a little bit bigger of those petals. Yeah, just like that. A couple touches of white, maybe we'll put a little daisy in here. Maybe another one over here. And over here. And then just touch, touch, touch. So I think I'm complete as piece. There's just something I might tweak, you know, as I look at it over the next couple of days, but that will be a 48 by 24 inch canvas. And if you're interested in it, let me know and send me an email or a message, and we can touch base for you to see it in person or see any of my work in your home. I can bring over your favorites if you're in the Edmonton area. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'll just hang on for a second, clean out my brush. If you have any other questions, let me know and I'm happy to answer them. And thanks again for tuning in. I'm so happy that you're here with me. I'm going to sign it. Have a drink of tea. Always sign with paint. I'd say always sign with paint. It can be tempting to sign with, I've seen artists sign with Sharpies, whatever you made your painting with. I say sign with the same material, same medium. Oh, this is funny, but there's a little thing I want to do just to this. I just want those to be purple. Maybe a purple in there. Maybe actually I want this to be one flower. Yeah. And I always add touches of gold in pieces too. So before I add my signature, let's do some touches of gold. Grab a little bit of gold. Hi, Lori. Thank you. Just about done. I've been painting for 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's 48 by 24. When I say the name, when I say the size of a painting, the first number is always the height, and the next number is always the width. Keep it consistent, and then it's always easy to understand and remember. Here's the gold. Touches even in the center of those sunflowers can use some gold. Good, now just to sign it. Where did my signing brush go? Here it is. Actually, I want to go a bit bigger. Let's do this. Why not sign it in gold? It's mixing with the green, so that's okay. It's kind of wet, so it's hard to sign. It's hard to sign it when it's super wet. Well, at least I got the placement of where I want my signature to be. I'll have to come back in there and do it again once it dries. But there you have it, 48 by 24 inch sunflower and wildflower painting. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday at 12 p.m. Have a good day. Bye now.